So, funny enough, speaking of Georgia players, we got STiCK coming up as well.
Yeah.
Played Bowser and K-Rool in the past. There's the K-Rool, but interesting to see Sora come into that. I don't know how, if STiCK even has a ton of experience playing against that specifically.
Yeah, and it looks like we're heading straight into it here. I didn't know if we'd button check it out or whatever, but we're heading straight towards it. We're rocking on it. So, K-Rool towards the ledge here. You've got STiCK. Again, like you said, Georgia guy, and always you get a lot of Georgia talent here at MomoCon because, again, in Georgia and a huge venue today. But Sora doing exactly what Sora wants to do, which is keep a huge stage presence. It's a character very heavy, combo-oriented, likes to just keep you in that kind of hit stun.
Well, I mean, with the floaty nature of Sora and K-Rool having that tough ability to get out of these combos reliably, it looks like PACDEUCE has been able to just rack up a ton of damage, but going blow for blow with K-Rool is not necessarily a viable strategy for Sora to try and enact a win condition. Mashing out, and STiCK gets the first stock in a pretty clean fashion.
Yeah, so when you're playing matchups like this, like you said, Sora has to really dictate the pace. I mean, K-Rool is combo fodder unless you get that belly out there, and so it can be very difficult. But like you say, when you trade it back and you get a couple of strong hits back, K-Rool's got a lot more kill potential, and we've seen that already. Is now coming back to the stage is STiCK, trying to get it on. Doesn't have the crown, but doesn't really need it. We'll pick it up here as he takes center stage, gets frozen. Can you convert out of this if you are PACDEUCE? And you do a great job on that, getting the Blizzaga into the kill.
Yeah, part of it I think that STiCK might need to use is using the shield to find a way to get in, and then, like you said, using that belly armor through the Nair to push through. The lingering counter has definitely been a problem for PACDEUCE so far this game, but I think an easier way to do that is almost feigning more by jumping in, not actually going for the Nair, trying to get an option from STiCK, and then punishing from there. But great ledge pressure from PACDEUCE. Let's see how they can capitalize.
Yeah, PACDEUCE is doing a really good job now of actually adapting to what STiCK wants to do. He's got the grab here, and he's going to set up in the middle of the stage. And now, again, this is what we're talking about, just throwing out these hitboxes, continuing the combo going. But STiCK with a chance. That down throw into, tried to down smash it looks like, but he could not quite connect there. And that might be a big miss for him because he's starting to get some percentage up. And while Sora does have some issues killing, this might be a chance. Extended combo. He got the read he wanted, but just didn't convert on it to PACDEUCE.
Yeah, STiCK, a little bit of a miss timing on the up smash. I think it was a good adaptation from PACDEUCE, just delaying the mash, but part of this is you have to find a way to get through the blunderbuss, the various ledge trap setups that we have with STiCK right now. You can be patient, wait for the shield, and get the kill with the F-tilt. STiCK looking to try and close out this game one at 153. That rage is just going to keep adding up. Or lose stock.
Yeah, great ledge guard right there from PACDEUCE, who's doing, again, what you want to do with Sora. This is a very stage-controlling matchup. You're playing as a light, floaty character. You just got to control the stage and not give STiCK any chance to get ground. But right now, here he is in the middle of the stage, setting up that blunderbuss, trying to get something going, but instead it turns around into PACDEUCE, who is at the ledge, and this is where you want to be. Blizzaga misses, can't quite find anything on it, and STiCK, though, he's having trouble finding these hits, and that's always going to be the issue here when you're playing K-Rool, Ducks.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm noticing is similar to the matchup when you're playing against Ken, K-Rool is poking through the stage and getting caught with this counter because of how the up B is interacting with the hitbox. I think part of that is STiCK might need to adapt how they're recovering to the stage so they're not constantly getting hit by PACDEUCE's counter. 104 on the clock, and STiCK just has to keep this pressure up and no whiff hits or...
Ooh.
Not enough just yet.
No, good DI back in right here. And again, as a character like K-Rool, you feel okay being at these high percentage. We've talked about the rage already. It can be huge. Good mix-up here, trying to come around to the side, but it's read well by PACDEUCE, who does get the kill off to the left side of the stage. And great coverage right there. We saw, I think, at the beginning of that game, that first game, STiCK really did a good job of exchanging blow for blow, getting that percentage trade pretty even. And in matchups like this, where it's a heavy versus a combo-oriented character, when you're trading blow for blow like that, like you talked about, that is an advantage of the K-Rool. Eventually, though, PACDEUCE started to find those openings, find those read patterns, and extending those combos, waiting on the air dodges, waiting on the shields and the avoidances there, waiting on that Nair to throw out that belly, and then it just kept going with more and more percent to where he got too much in a hole.
Yeah, and one thing that I think STiCK could do to at least create a better chance of recovery is adapting on timing and positioning of the recovery because of how the counter is going and catching STiCK on the recovery when going low. STiCK might need to find at least some other ways to be more creative and get to the ledge, and already having a tough time to get out of the corner, and the back throw can start what might be a good reversal.
Yes, it could be, but again, we have to talk about how almost perfectly you have to play if you're Sora in this matchup, because we saw percentages almost evened up there for a moment off of just one grab from K-Rool, right? So if you give him one opening, if STiCK gets one opening, you're going to look at this being right back to even, and then that stray hit ends up killing you. But PACDEUCE doing a really good job right now, waiting this out, taking his space back, and then trying to close the distance when he needs to. Good shield into Nair, but the counter here kills all the way across the stage. I didn't think that was going to do that. Maybe a mix-up on the DI there.
It might have even scaled with that back air. We know that back air is a huge punish, and PACDEUCE is doing a great job of establishing momentum, catching with the ice, putting in a freeze, and now catching STiCK trying to go for these greedy counters. This is all PACDEUCE's control right now, and again, punishing STiCK on the recovery.
Yeah, he is. STiCK is going to not be able to make it back to the stage just yet, and he's got so much percentage now. Eventually, these back airs are just going to take the stock, and PACDEUCE sitting comfortably in a set that started off a little bit into STiCK's favor. Now he's trying to find his way, and he's not really quite had it just yet.
Yeah, again, STiCK is really having some trouble trying to at least get any meaningful percent onto the board to get to some of these kill confirms, whether it's out of a down throw or something else. A bigger problem is STiCK is just having trouble maintaining their feet on the ground. PACDEUCE is doing such a good job of forcing STiCK off stage, and again, trying to create these recovery situations where it's pretty much a gimme for the counter.
Yeah, it really is, and these counters have been huge in this set, and right now it's not looking good for him as you get the kill on the bottom of the screen, stock to the left, and STiCK down pretty substantially here, down 2-0. We've talked about it. Known for his Bowser, known for his K-Rool. I don't know about K-Rool in this Sora matchup, but I feel like the Bowser might be a better option here, and I wonder if it's going to come out here in Game 3.
It could come out in Game 3, but I don't know if that is what's going to immediately solve all these issues.
You're right.
Still in a position where if you're off stage, it is a pretty much gimme in terms of the counter. You can just look at the pathing where you're going back to the stage, but you do gain some ways to try and get out, whether you're above Sora or something else, but STiCK staying with what he knows and playing the K-Rool. Hopefully the change in scenery to Kalos gives him a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, I like the extended stage here. I like the extra presence. I think it's going to give him some room to get away from some of these combos. Hopefully use that. And right now, doing a really good job just kind of running PACDEUCE across the stage. Back here comes in, and then I like this, just in and out. You get too close to the Sora, and this Keyblade does some work trying to get you all the way off the stage. Good counter here, but now you're in the edge guard situation we've talked about where the counter from Sora is so difficult for STiCK to deal with.
Yeah, and STiCK is trying to fight his way out, and these counters are a pretty easy setup for PACDEUCE. And even more so, there's a mix-up where PACDEUCE doesn't have to go for the counter. We saw using the ice and then trying to look for the back air. There are more options available to PACDEUCE to try and control the tempo of this game, like you said earlier. And STiCK still able to get these good hits on keeping the ledge pressure, but it just doesn't feel like the game is fully in the Heavy's control.
No, it doesn't. And again, this is why, in Smash, typically the top of the tier lists are light, fast characters. But STiCK trying to make it work right here. All he needs is one hit. PACDEUCE, though, looking to close the set out in a 3-0 if he can, is on the ledge here, gets back cleanly to the stage. Blizzaga to give him some space, trying to close the gap, to poke when he can, but that trade does not go in his favor, and STiCK back with the lead here, and he needs this one to stay alive here in Winterside.
Good use of the belly armor to get back to the ground. STiCK can look for several openings here, whether it's a grab or something else. We have to find a way to combo off, and there we go. Great spacing on the recovery to get around the counter.
Man. Clean with it, though, as PACDEUCE. I mean, it seems like, Dux, he's finding his combo starters, he's finding the hits that he needs, and then the reason I'm liking Kalos here is because the stage is so big, it's hard to get the K-Rool off stage, but you can see right now, the extension that he's doing, everything is trying to move STiCK off stage. He's trying to get in that position where he can just spam counter at the ledge, and there's not much that K-Rool can do about it, and you're seeing this right now because STiCK is just, he's not even playing the game, he's just getting stuck in these combos, and he's at 120%.
I think part of it also is that STiCK hasn't had time to get his projectile game in play, using the crown as effectively. We can see that the crown's just been either countered or basically turned off with the shield pressure from PACDEUCE, but PACDEUCE has changed the entire game plan, going much more aggressive and not giving STiCK any time to breathe.
Yeah, he's using his frame data, man. He's just like, look, my attacks come out faster than your attacks do, so I'm just going to keep throwing them at you until you punish me for it. You know, I'm going to keep racking up the percent. Now, though, a chance here for STiCK, but it gets converted immediately back around. And PACDEUCE, again, this is not where you want to be. You're getting a lot of a damage on you. The up smash doesn't get the stock just yet. Finally, though, STiCK towards the ledge here, shields the Thundaga. He's going to look to see, but Sora, as we all know, ton of ways to mix up his recovery.
Ton of ways to mix up the recovery, but that also gives STiCK a chance to at least intercept where Sora may be,
right,
and get something like forward air or one of these other killing moves. At 150, Sora has to be very cognizant of any option STiCK is selecting that could take a stock just like that. STiCK back into this game. Last stocks.
Last stock here action again. K-Rool has a lot of survivability. You can't be worried too much about your high percentage here if you're STiCK. You need to just find a couple of conversions, get something onto PACDEUCE to try to keep it going. But PACDEUCE, again, looking for these combo starters. Basically, all of Sora's aerials are going to combo into each other. The Nairs here trying to come up with around. That down air, though, leaves him in a tough position. Now he's off stage. Can STiCK convert here? He does get the blunderbuss, but he trades it for a Blizzaga. And so it's kind of a net negative there for him as it comes across the top as PACDEUCE. And this is not where you want to be if you're STiCK and you're on your last stock here. Thundaga gets the last stock and a clean 3-0 from PACDEUCE, who just felt like he had that matchup on lock pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, it's a pretty difficult matchup for K-Rool to explicitly activate their game plan and try and play towards that win condition. But overall, I think that was a really great job from STiCK. You can see some of the strengths that K-Rool does have in the matchup. For instance, getting your meaningful counter hits back, where you can use your belly armor to break down and get to the ground and try and at least maintain that sense of normalcy. STiCK certainly not over yet in the bracket. They're going to make a substantial play in the losers run. I'm